Making fun of an English speaker's accent when they're trying to speak your language is as rude if the roles were reversed. I go to an all-French school and some of my classmates will eat the English kids alive if they pronounce something wrong. It's sad because you can see that they really want to have the confidence and the place to speak French, but they're scared of judgment every time they speak. At this school we have English class and some of the really French kids have a hard time speaking English. The English kids never say anything about their shitty accents because that would be rude as hell and they're trying their best. I lived in Japan for 3 years and tried to learn as much Japanese as I possibly could. I'm sure I butchered pronunciations and got entire words mixed up with other words, but when I tried speaking to natives, they always appreciated the effort I was putting in and would seem almost flattered that I'm genuinely trying. I guess France is different. My step-family is Brazilian, and whenever I try to speak they just laugh at me, which TBH doesn't really make me wanna try. That's how you crush dreams, lol. Oh, how the turntables. I went to Spain on an exchange. What a lot of other students did, rather than actually talk to us, was ask us to say certain things and then laugh at how we said it. Not surprising, make them a white flag and tell them hor uitvegling, die Dutchen kommen white flag white flag. My psychic powers told me this would be about French people, before I read it in the title. You're still in school. In the adult world this would be an extremely taboo thing to do, especially in a professional setting. You'd probably lose your job. My school has a problem with this. It may sound weird, which some interpret as funny, but I'm more impressed that they took the time to learn another language and understand what I'm saying when it's their second language. Well, the French are notoriously tough, mean, and scathing until an actual war breaks out. It's mostly just the French. When I learned German, they were pretty accepting. The French are just assholes. When I was in Amsterdam people said I talk weird English. I was extremely confused. I guess Southern slang isn't their thing. LOL. Is it a popular opinion that French, or at least Parisian, babies are born with a stick inserted in their rectum that never gets removed? I had an American customer a while ago and he was trying to speak my native language, which is pretty hard tbh. He had extremely strong accent, but it was really sweet to see that he is so excited about it. He was also planning on getting a certificate. I think it was awesome. The French look down on anyone not French that tries to speak French. Make World War II jokes. That'll smooth things over. I'm Cuban American, but my accent when I'm speaking Spanish gets made fun of so much that I just don't bother anymore. It's bloody hard to learn a second language, and for someone to make fun of another person for their pronunciation is very off-putting and unfair to that person no matter what language they're speaking. I'm currently learning languages and it's my worst fear to mispronounce a language I'm learning. We Finns are absolutely blown away anytime a foreigner can say a single word properly, let alone attempt to speak the language, so I don't think this is a problem here. This goes for any accent in any language. It's hard to learn to speak different language. Obviously one will have accent. Who cares what the French think? From my understanding, the French aren't exactly that polite a people. Maybe I'm misinformed, since my encounters with French begin and end with the Creole French in the southern part of my state, but that is the general feeling I get from what I'm told. Personally, I'd never make fun of others' accents, cause I hate it when I accidentally let my southern twang slip loose and people start acting like I'm some kind of degenerate, incestuous freak. The only case I disagree is when someone has an accent I can't even understand and they are in teaching or at a register. I wouldn't make fun of it, but like, I need to communicate, dude. I've had a mixed bag when it comes to France. I went to Le Mans racetrack one year with my dad and his friends. The staff in a restaurant looked down at us and our friends' attempts to order stuff in French until I spoke to them fluently and started telling them they shouldn't be so ignorant to those that are trying. The staff were so shocked that someone had said that to them, especially someone who was non-native speaking. Last year I went to Paris with my girlfriend and we had a great time in a restaurant. I was happily talking to the waiter and I asked for an English menu for my girlfriend and immediately he apologized and started talking in English. So it really depends on the person, because the waiter in the restaurant was so welcoming and a gentleman. We had a cheese selection at the end of our meal and he recommended some for us. The piece de resistance was the Pont l'Evêque. My God, I've never had such an amazing cheese. I bought some in a market in Paris before we left and we can buy it in the UK, it turns out. So it's going to be a Christmas treat this year. All because the waiter was super helpful and just generally amazing. TL, DR, some French people suck but not all of them.